Hey, beloveds, what is going on? What's going on? What's going on? Great, awesome, and amazing, brand new day. It's Friday. It's Freedom Friday. It's Financially Fit Friday. It's 50 Top Friday. Whatever you want to name it and claim it, it is your day, right? It is your day. And whatever you want to create in your day, you can create because it is real to me, so I can have it. It is real to me, so I can have it. Remember, we are here on Affirm April. So we're going to be affirming some things in our lives. So you want to start affirming only the good things, the positive things, the things that you want to reinforce, the reaffirm into your life. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Latrice Lindsay. I am a wellness advocate, a wellness advisor. I am a life coach in the health and wellness industry. I help women overcome and become great, right? In all aspects of their life, right? Whether it be, your health journey, whether it be it's, growing or starting your business, whether it be, finding your voice and your confidence within, whether it be transitioning and transforming. I am that girl. I am that person that you go to connect because I will definitely celebrate you. I'm that person that you come to when you want to collaborate because we have a network of so many amazing people doing so many great, amazing, impactful things that you can definitely collaborate with. We can all collaborate together as long as we are speaking to similar and like-minded audience. You're speaking to women, call on your girl. All right. So, as this title says, are you a mother on her healing journey? And this live really is about you. Okay. I just really want to speak to those because, this weekend we went on an awakening to rebirth. And we did that by attending this amazing conference called The Awakening, and it really put us in a position and in an environment where we had to work on ourselves, where we had to process a few things. And though so many of us is at different places in our lives and we're going through different and experiencing different challenges, it is so important that where our mind is always present, our mind is always putting ourselves where we see ourselves, because the condition and the situation around us can really keep us in a stuck and stagnant state. And one of the things that my mentor reminded us of is like, people don't want to, even this morning on one of our programs, she reminded us that people don't want to hear about your trials and your troubles and your tribulations and your problems and the things that you're going through. People try to stay away from that. People try to get away from those things as much as they say, you know what, I'm here for you, call me if you need. And, as a mother, we go through so many things. And even though we go through these things in cycles and everybody have experienced it, right? It's life doesn't always give us the opportunity to be there the way we want to be there for each other, right? So speak onto positive and work towards the solution that we're going through in our life. But one of the things I always talk to you guys about is your mindset. You must have your mindset wrapped around that you are amazing, that you are doing the best that you can do, that you are doing exactly what you say you are set out to do. I am set out to break the generational curses of my bloodline, right? You know what that means? It doesn't mean that the weapons are not going to form. The weapons are going to form. They've been forming years and years and years and years and years before me, right? They've been forming in my life, which is why I came to a conscious thought and a conscious decision that it stops at me. It stops at me. I came to a conscious thought and I came to a conscious decision that it stops at me. So the weapons are behind me, upon me, and it's going to form. So everything that I'm experiencing, everything that I've never experienced before, I come up to that point where I have to experience it, because how else will I be able to break it? And some of you guys are at that place where you are experiencing some challenges and some battles because of the things that you have spoken out of your mouth, the things that you have proclaimed in your life, the things that you have said that you are going to set out to do. You have to understand that the challenge is going to match the victory. The challenge and the battles is going to match, what it is that you say you set out to do. You're going to have to break these things, so when you do get there, you no longer have to deal with these challenges. And maybe it's not even you, right? Because Walt Disney, remember, he had the vision, but he never lived it long enough to see what the Disney World and Disneyland. He did not live. His family, his other people were able to carry out that vision for him. Okay, so he never got to see it with his visual eyes, but he saw it before everybody else did. So you're fighting a battle that nobody else has seen before in your life. Thank you, Jesus. Listen. Okay, God. Okay, you're fighting through a battle that you have nobody else has ever seen before, because everybody else has settled, everybody else has went through it, everybody else has said, listen, I am comfortable with this because it's familiar to me, and if nobody else knew how to fight it, how am I going to fight it? How am I going to do it? Right? You're coming up against something that is unseen, but you are going to fight it. You are going to display what it is that you must do when you come across battles and challenges like this. What is it that you're supposed to do to break generational curses and battles in your life? You are coming up against certain things in your life that is never going to happen again in your bloodline, in your DNA moving forward, in your children, in your children's children, and your children's children's children. Okay, and it goes on. Your legacy is being built by you and through you, right? All that you need to do is ask that you get to live out the legacies of your inheritance. Okay, not that only your children and your grandchildren get to live out the inheritance and the legacy of it, but you also, after fighting these battles, after defeating and conquering all these obstacles, you get to see the fruitfulness and the abundance of your inheritance. You want to include that in the asking, right? I need to include that in the asking, because so many times we get wrapped up in our minds, so many times we get caught up in the rapture of thinking of, oh, why me, and woe is me, and the problems and the battles, and it's just one. You get so caught up because you're constantly going out to fight, out for war. As soon as you complete one challenge, the next one coming hits you right off, right? You're so busy caught up that you forget that this is what you are called for, that you are the one with the solution, that you are the one that's going to overcome this, and you're breaking it. And the beautiful thing about that is your children, right, get to see all that happening, right? And what you're displaying to the children is how to overcome. What you're displaying to the children is how we fought through and how you're creating better for them. So many times we say, oh, we want to give them things that we've never had, and we want to make sure we position them in a better place, and we're doing it the best that we can, but our situation seems like it's not what it is. It's not giving what it's supposed to give, right? So you have to keep your mind to know that, listen, you are clearing the way for them. You are putting them in position and opportunity and teaching them along the way. They're getting firsthand experience of how, how to maintain, how to sustain, how to grow, how to defeat. They're getting firsthand experience, right, on how this is truly done, and how, but they may not appreciate it, they may not recognize it, right? But how is it your teenager is able to have a vehicle? How is it you're able to keep a roof over their head, whether you're a single mother or a mother with partners, or you're having help, or you're doing it alone? How are you able to get your child into that program, into that scholarship? How you are able to help them in greater positions in their lives, so that they can think bigger, so that they can go after bigger, right? You did that. You're doing that, even though you are carrying out and defeating those battles, right? So often we instead of looking and keeping our eyes on the things that we have done, and to know that not only have we done our best, but we're doing exactly what we set out to do. We need to let go of the how. We need to let go of the how. It's not how you want to do it, it's how it must be done, and that is out of our control, right? And because it's out of our control, we should now not attach our emotions to it, to say, oh, it's not done my way. Sometimes you tell your children to do something and you have a particular way of doing it. Or even if it's not the children, maybe you go to work and you learn, they taught you how to do a certain thing, but each person does that same thing or carry out that task differently, but the task get done because each person put their own tweaks and their own ways to it, right? You may organize your desk area when it's not your shift different than the other person who organized their desk area when it's their shift, right? So things get moved around, right? But it's not done your way, it's done their way, right? So we have to allow, and we have to not only allow them to do things their way, but we have to accept and know that we have planted the right seed. That's it. Our job is to plant the right seed. Get out of our head, plant the right seeds, and know that we are breaking some generational curses. So when these battles formed against us, they will not prosper. Because not only does the word say it will not prosper, but we are also equipped. We're equipped because what we think, what we say, and what we do, and how we feel, it's all essential, right? It creates the next generational patterns in our lives, and our bloodline, our generation. They feel each and every single one of these. It carries out, and this is probably deep, too deep for some people. But it is all about the energies that we pursue. Like my children, um, one of my children, they didn't grow around their father, and um and I see a lot of the features, like physical, the way he acts, the way he moves, the things that he does. Like it's so comparison in relation to his father, and I'm like, they've never been. It's not like they grow in the same household where he's able to see the movements, and the acting like, and the mimicking what you see around us, because that is what we do as human becomings, right? We mimic the things that we see around us. Over time we become the environment. This is why we have to be careful of where we put ourselves. Where you see yourself, you put yourself where you see yourself, right? That's when we're getting up out of our situations. We're becoming. So we have to get up and put ourselves where we see ourselves. But anyways, back to what I was talking about, right? So that proves to me, that confirms to me that our DNA, it transfer. We have a DNA transfer. We have an energy transfer. It does. We have a bloodline transfer. So once you can identify the things that are in our lives, that are in our past, that are patterns in our family and our bloodline, and you know that it is a pattern, so it is a curse, right? You want to break that. You want to move from that. You want to remove that from. Somebody got to break it. You want to remove it from your bloodline. You want to remove it from that DNA. You want to uproot it and kill it from the root. And how are you going to do that? By changing the habits, by changing the thought process, by changing the way we show up for each other, by changing the conversations that we have, by putting up Boundaries. When you put boundaries up in your life, you start to think different. You start to move different. You start to look different. You start to evolve differently because you're putting up boundaries and restrictions into your life. Now, as mothers, right, we do find that very challenging because we are givers. We are, oh, I want to satisfy, I want to please you, right? As mothers, we find it very hard to delegate, but it's something that we must do in order to find that peace so that we can operate out of the peace, in order that we can start loving authentically again, because we are now loving ourselves. Now we have the space, we have the room, we have the time in order to love ourselves because we have delegated some of the tasks that we are so accustomed to doing, that takes, that robs us from time, right? Robs us from our time so that we can put that energy into other sources so that we can be great internally and show up, and it shows up externally. You know what it is to have that pivotal shift. You know what it is when people look at you and see, you know what, I can see a change, I can see a difference in you. That's because that change, it happened within. That's because that change process, that transformation process, there was a pivotal shift up here. And because the energy was able to shift, it was able to exude all around you and outside of you, so other people are able to see. So it starts within, it starts with you, and it starts with you celebrating you. I had to celebrate a couple mamas today. I had to celebrate a couple women today because I experienced the shift within them. I got to see them rebirth. I got to see them, you know, awaken. I got to see the rebirth in them as we went through this elevated shift this weekend, right? This elevated shift this weekend. I gotta write that down, y'all. Elevated shift. Elevated shift, y'all. I don't know what's gonna become of it, but it's gonna become something. But that elevated shift. I got some tissue to wipe my nose. All right. So as we are in a firm April, and I hope this that blessed somebody, but it was on my heart, and even if it was a message for me, somebody else needed it as well. So I had to share it with you because I do need to remind myself that yeah, I'm doing an amazing job. And yes, even the battles that I go through on a day-to-day basis, I have to remind myself I'm a powerful being. I have to remind myself, yes, why not me? I have to remind myself, yes, though the battles may form, listen, this is for me to defeat it. It will be defeated. I have defeated it. It's already done. I am just walking through the process, through the grace and the mercies that follows me all the days of my life. And listen, I know that I'm able to enjoy the abundance of everything that I'm building, everything that I'm creating, everything that I am planning to leave back for my children and my children's children and my legacies. Okay. So, with that being said, make sure you're following me here, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and wherever else I seem to pop up. Smile Fitness by Treese. Smile Fitness by Treese. That's TRICE. Smile Fitness by Treese. And that is on Instagram. That is on Facebook. And make sure that you are, when you get on Facebook, guys, make sure when you follow me, you're going to be tapped into the community, the wellness community, because there we foster growth, there we foster just alignment, there we foster, um, you know, fitness, movement, love, growth, development, healing, all the good stuff. And just definitely tap in because we got challenges that happen all the time. We just had one that we finished up, and we have an amazing queen that she showed up, she went hard, she did everything she was supposed to do. She took the pictures, she took the videos, she showed up, and she was voted for and all these things. And for the Canadians, she was a winner. And I still have to actually send her gift, which is awful to me. And actually, I just want to share another thing with you guys. But yeah, I actually still need to send her gift. And mm, I'm gonna have to get to that. Yeah. That's awful that I haven't done it yet, but I need to send it because there's so much going on in my world, but that is no excuse because we don't do excuses here because we need to continue to celebrate. But she did it, and that's what we do in this program. We celebrate each other, and I show you how much I appreciate you for going hard for yourself. So the challenges is fitness challenges, you taking amazing products, supplements like this one I have here. You know, you see a shot, you take a shot. In fact, let's take it together. I just finished drinking, there's maybe like a mouthful left of my Delgada coffee. That's how I started my day. Okay. And then this is a multi-liquid vitamins that I love, love, love to enjoy. So as I'm about to take it, I actually need to record it. So you're going to see it in real time because this is what we do. This is a part of what I do. I take amazing products, I record it, I post it, and people order it, and then I get paid online. This is one of the ways that I teach you mamas how to make money. Okay? This is one of the ways I teach you mamas how to make money online. The other thing I'm going to talk to you guys about after we do this, this is a gem. So if you don't know how to work your business online, if you don't know how to work your business on social media, all you have to do is turn the camera on your device. I'm currently on Instagram. Instagram. I am going to set up the camera. I'm going to do hands free. Make sure your camera is wiped off and it's clear and it's clean. You have filters on there. If you don't feel like you showing up, you can change the coloring, everything. But at the end of the day, you have the product that you're gonna take, and you're gonna be like, great, awesome, and amazing morning. So NutriBurst, take a shot, see a shot. Taking my multi-liquid vitamins today. This is going to help, replenish my body. It's going to help my body absorb the nutrients. It is going to help keep my skin glowing, my hair growing, and my nails strengthening. So let's take your shot. Let's take our shots together. I'm doing a Zoom right now. Um, if you are not on here, follow me on YouTube so that we can get all this good content together. All right, cheers. All right, make sure you take your shots. Make sure you take your vitamins. This is amazing, amazing for everyone in the family. Easy packaging for the children to take with them to school or to just grab and go on their way out the door. Get yourself one. You can get it at on my website, smiledynasty.com. You can go ahead and send me a message there. You can follow me on Becoming Trees, right? You can follow me on Becoming Trees on Instagram as well. And once you are, let me go ahead and post that video. See, I created the video. Are not on here, follow me on YouTube so that we can get all this. I'm gonna place my link there. All right, cheers. It's that simple. All right, make sure you take. So smiledynasty.com. I actually want people to join the email list. That is one of the things that I want you guys to do. Go to smiledynasty.com and join the email list. Great, awesome, amazing morning. So, NutriBurst, take a shot, see a shot. Why I want you to join the email list, it's because we have so many up and coming events that are happening right now. We have so many amazing events coming out right now, and we're going into that season where we are connecting and we're collaborating and we're communicating and we're growing together. We're coming out of a time of like isolation and building, and yes, we were connecting behind the scenes, but there is nothing like connecting when the sun is out, when the new years have started, when the birds are singing and the grass is green and the flowers is blooming. That is exactly what's going on with us internally. So it's an amazing time to come together and to fellowship, so that we can grow. So make sure you're a part of the Facebook community. We are growing each and every single day. Every day I'm getting new um, partners, new members into the group. Next thing for the mamas I want to talk to you guys about is Parenting Teens. It's available on Amazon, but it's also available on smiledynasty.com. Smiledynasty.com. Hit me up so you can get yours. I still have a couple more left, that I definitely want to get to the homes of some beautiful, amazing people who know that they really need this book. I've heard great reviews on it, that it has really transformed and helped people in certain situations and times, in their relationship with their teens, and just bringing awareness to where they are currently right now. Right after me participating in writing this book, um, I too went through some crazy challenges as my children were going through the process of teenage. I just had one graduated, and I had another going, starting, and then I had another one already in. And it's like I was going through this spiral right after with being a parent, of a teenager, or parenting a teen. Listen, and I never knew what that experience was, because I was a good child. I was an amazing child. I listened. I did. I grew up in I guess fear, and nowadays children are, they're growing up with so much freedom, and then there's so much restriction and fear placed on the parents on how they are parenting children in this time, in this place. So this book here has been helping so many people, to navigate through just that, just the different challenges that teenagers and parents go through when their children are teenagers. So it talks about, self-esteem issues. It talks about violence. It talks about, communicating with parents and teens, the communication between the two, and how to, right? I have challenges communicating with my children, because as they evolve in different aspects in their lives, like how do you talk to a teenager, like how are we transitioning, how do we talk to them when they're going through certain, certain situation, but then you are viewed as an authority figure, and you are viewed as a disciplinary, or you are that the person who always corrects. How do you soften, and become that nurturer, that listener, that create that space for them, so that they're able to work through their own challenges? Are you able to do that, or do you have to, you know delegate? Do you have to outsource? Do you have to now find the resources, the tools, the environment where they're able to work through those things for themselves, right? So it talks about, communication. It talks about, not everybody, I identify not everybody's a single parent like myself, right? So we, of course, we're speaking to those who they are going through divorce, um, teen pregnancy. We can't act like that is not a thing, or that is no longer a thing. It is real. So there's a topic on that in this book, spirituality. For me, I found my connection with God Truly, like I've always had God riding with me. I mean, rocking with God forever and ever, forever and ever. Okay, but I truly took that walk when I was in high school. All my friends, listen, all my friends, we was a Christian crew. We was everybody was playing real deep roles in the Christian church. Okay, we were a whole collective, like a whole clique. In high school we literally, and we had a ball. We did everything that everybody's doing now, or everybody did in the secular world, like, because I was in both, right? So we went out to dinners, we went to movies, we went skating events, we went, they had gospel jams where they played like music where we can celebrate and hang out and just listen, just jam to some gospel vibes, some hip hop, some gospel R&B, some gospel rap, like we was some just soul gospel. Like we was just, it was a good time. We had the best time. We had concerts, right? Concerts, keep it up. Like, and I like we just listen. We have a great experience. We have conferences. And I was showing up and showing out for that time and season of my life the same way I'm showing up and showing out now for the time and season of my life. I'm going to conferences in different cities, online and virtually and in person. I'm showing up at events, I'm networking, I'm coming live and I'm connecting with you people, and I'm inviting you guys into our space, and I'm showing up for you guys, and I'm creating spaces for us to foster and grow. So I'm showing up the same way I showed up then. But you know what? I really truly connected with my spirituality um, during that time, my high school year, because Lord knows I needed him nearer and nearer and dearer, because high school was rough. Okay, it talks about teens and sex. It talks about teens and broken homes. It talks about so many of the challenges that we have to experience, even as maybe as a first time, as a mother and daughter. Maybe we've experienced it as ourselves for ourselves, obviously, because we've lived it. Nothing new under the sun. We as parents have lived these challenges our teenagers are going through. The disconnect is we don't know how to help them through it. No one helped us through it. We were fortunate enough to have people who were equipped to help us through it with the resources or the knowledge to help us through it. But our children are fortunate enough to be equipped with parents like us who are always searching for resources, always searching for tools to help make us better. Those same tools can be helpful for your youth. Imagine your children being equipped with that now. Can you imagine who they are going to become when they're at your age and your stage of your game? You have mastered and flipped that generation of pattern in your life, right? So when I speak on at the beginning about you not feeling like you are doing anything big, that is major. Okay, that is major. You are implementing things and positioning these children in a way, in advance, because at the age that they are now, they're able to know, learn, and we have to teach them in order this to happen. Yes, they can maybe watch you and they see you fighting and battling through it, but remember, that's what you're doing. You're battling through it, so you're not even doing it right, right? But you know what to do, and you're finding your way through it to do it. But they're equipped. They're not traumatized. They're at a fresh slate. They can get the resources. They can apply it now, so that it don't even have to take an uproot into their life. The weapons may form, but they will not prosper, right? They will uproot that, right? Before what? I see it coming. Get off. You know when you have a bug on you, you feel it. It's gone, right? You're not gonna sit there and leave it and let it and do what it do, lay eggs on you and manifest. No, you're gonna move. Shoo, get away from me. Move. That's what our children are going to be able to do by the fight that you are putting in now, by the display, by the resources that you're gathering. You're gathering all the crops, you're gathering all the resources, and you're giving it to them. You're displaying it to them. You're working through it with them. You're going on a walk. Take your child on a walk with you, right? You're doing some breathing exercise. Do some breathing exercise with your children. You are doing a stretch, some yoga. Do it with your children. You're implementing and putting these things into your children. You are walking and exercising. I saw a quote that, and I didn't even watch the video yet, so I don't know why I'm bringing it up now. But there's a video that I'm gonna go back and watch because I saw it right before I was coming here, where this guy was, and I don't know his point and where it's leading to, but he talks about how if your children are overweight, it's bad parenting. It's your fault. Okay, well, we're gonna take that and we're gonna change that, and we're going to display better habits and attributes and ways to deal with what it is that we're dealing with, right? Because a lot of the things that we have keep recurring in our lives, these habits that we form, that we create bonds with, that we cannot let go. It becomes spiritual. It's a spiritual battle. And then we now have to attack this thing spiritually, right? So that is exactly what you're going to have to do now. Now you're going to have to do the work. And it takes, you taking those moments by yourself walking. It takes those moments of your stillness and breathing and just releasing, right? And creating those calm and harmonious spaces, and then doing and filtering and retraining and reprogramming the mind and doing new things, creating new pathways, and just living in joy and peace and love. And it's easier said than done, but is it possible? Yes. Can it be done? Yes. Can you do it? Yes. You wake up and you do it every single day in other areas of your life. All you have to do is refocus. What you focus on will grow. Focus on those areas that you want to improve on, and not the areas that you're so used to beating up on yourself on, that you're so easy to lay back and let go of. Focus on the areas that you want to see for yourself, and put yourself where you see yourself. Speak those things until they become real. Speak those things until you start feeling. Do you see yourself? Do you feel yourself in the environment? Right? Because you deserve to be there. You deserve to be there. So to all the mamas, make sure you grab the book, smiledynasty.com, smiledynasty.com, and grab the books. Parenting Teens, The Tug of War to Adulthood. Okay, we're going to say our Affirm April affirmation today. We are going to say our affirmation today. One moment. Hello? Hello? Yes, correct. One moment, please. So I definitely have to take that. But I affirm April, I'm gonna have to do that. Follow me on Instagram and you'll see me do it in the stories and in the live. But I really gotta go. Peace, love, unity, and abundance.